Hi everyone, welcome back to the third part of our Suzuki JB43 ZukZilla accessories installment. Like I said, this will be the third and the final part of us looking at accessories for the JB43 Jimny. So the list of extras we're going to be looking at today and having a chat about is going to be the Snorkel, when you decat your exhaust, the roof rack, spotlights, seat covers, packing system, Diff Locks, and the Plastidip paint I did on my car. First we're going to look at the Snorkel. As you know from the previous episodes, I got my Snorkel pre-installed with Zuk-Zilla when I bought it. Common misconception, a Snorkel doesn't provide you with, you can drive through deep water as long as the Snorkel is above the water line. That's not true. Yes, the Snorkel does provide you with a higher point where your engine can get oxygen from, but don't push it as far as the Snorkel's intake. That will never work because you've got much more delicate stuff, because the Jimnys are petrol engines. Petrol engines don't like water or can't handle water as good as diesel engines do. So this Snorkel will make your water level point a bit higher than the standard intake, but the main function of your Snorkel is to provide cool, clean air to your system that improves the performance a bit. It's also a bit lighter on your filter systems for the dust, because it's higher up. You don't get as much dust as you get closer to the ground on the Jimny. So end of the day, Snorkel helps you a bit with performance. It helps you with dusty roads, keeping your filters cleaner for longer, and it makes your water intake point, your air intake point for water crossings a bit higher. But your max line for water crossings is still going to be your fuse box. Even if you have a filter fitted, fuse box, spark plugs, and your engine is going to die in the water if you go over that. So be aware of that. The Snorkel is not for water crossings. Educate yourself before you do that. The Snorkels look good. I enjoyed having the Snorkel on mine. I think it does a lot for the aesthetics of the car. It's nice to have a decent higher water point, but like I said, it's not the begin all end all on that. And the performance you get from it, you don't, on the 1300 on the Jimny, you don't see a difference at all. It may sound a bit nicer when you rev it up, but that's about it. There are different makes of Snorkels available for the Jimny now. There's cheaper ones, there's more expensive ones. I'd say look at the one that fits your pocket, that suits your needs, that maybe looks the part on your design of your Jimny, and don't overspend on it. The best information I can give you about a Snorkel is don't stand there while the 4x4 guys are installing it. That's the worst thing you can do. So that's the best advice I can give you on Snorkels and fitting Snorkels. Don't be there while they're fitted. Next on our list is the decat of the exhaust. That's basically your catalytic converter that brings down the fuel emissions. In South Africa, you only pay that fuel taxes or the emission taxes once off, and that's when you buy the car. Afterwards, it never gets checked again. So you can basically take that catalytic converter out of your car without being prosecuted again or anything on that. This is all in the hunt for more power for your 1300. You can look at the DCAT, you can look at the Snorkel, you can look at performance chips, you can look at aftermarket exhaust systems. None of these make a huge difference, and I don't think it's worth the money. The DCAT I did was a DIY job. You basically take off the catalytic converter, that portion of the exhaust, you take that off, you heat that out with a piece of round bar, make sure that all the honeycomb inside is removed, and afterwards you just put that back. Then you've got one sensor close to the engine, that's basically your emission sensor, and that tells your car when it's hot and cold and when it can basically start changing the air and fuel mixture for your car. That's why people always fit a cat fooler. They call it a cat fooler. On the Jimny, you don't need to install that cat fooler. On that sensor, you have like a white wire. You've got a blue, a green, and a white wire. And you take that white wire, you bridge that out. That will give your car the correct sine wave that tells it, okay, you are ready to give the correct fuel and air mixture to the car, and you're ready to go. So the cat foolers, most of the time the guys have got problems with engine lights still coming on, that type of stuff, with aftermarket exhausts. So on that one, keep your standard Jimny emission sensor close to the engine. Just bridge out that white wire, and you're not going to have problems with your with engine lights coming on or anything else. Like I said, on performance it doesn't make a huge difference. We've gone to the forums, and a lot of guys say, yeah, I did the chip and this much, I got this much gain, but I think on the 1300 you can only squeeze so much out of it, and the amount of money it costs you, don't even go that route. Do rather go lightweight, because the only way you're going to get performance out of that engine is if you add a turbo to it or supercharger, and that's going to cost you a lot of money. Again, the other guys also looked at engine swaps for their cars, where they put the Suzuki Swift motors in. You've got a choice between a 16 and an 1800. Think about that carefully. Maybe if you're building an extreme car, you bought a accident damaged Jb43 and you don't want to go the turbo or supercharger route, do the engine rebuild route. It's got a lot more power, you can go bigger tires, bigger everything, but the standard 1300 is going to be a big limit point for you. Another common favorite we are looking at next is the roof rack. Zuk-Zilla came with a roof rack already installed. It was my first proper 4x4, and the roof rack I had installed was Frontrunner Wind Cheetah. It's a nice slimline roof rack, it's lightweight, it doesn't have a lot of wind noise, if any wind noise at all. I know there's a lot of guys that complain about wind noise when they put up the roof rack. There is a change in fuel consumption with having a roof rack on and having a roof rack off. So look at the most lightweight solution if you're looking at mixed solutions for your car or mixed uses for your car. There are a lot of roof rack options, not only in South Africa but around the world. I'll just run you through a few names of the South African suppliers. Frontrunner, Easy On, Alucab, Hannibal, and the list goes on. There are a bunch of guys doing DIY roof racks at home as well with the connected aluminium systems. This, I'm not going to force you guys to make a choice on this. Personally, on all my 4x4s, I always went for the front runner roof racks. Main reason why is they've got a good list of accessories for their roof racks. They've got gas bottle holders, jerry can holders, different type of jerry can holders, like 2 jerry cans next to each other, 2 separate. You get up to 4 jerry cans that I think a jerry can holder can hold. They've got even like the Poiki course holders they've got as well for the three leg pots. They've got those available. They've got rooftop tents available for it. And it's always nice when you put those type of solutions together from the one manufacturer, because they were designed to work together. That's what I like about the front runner solutions. Some of the other guys, I don't think they have the wind noise sorted out. They don't have the weight sorted out, and they don't have any accessories that go with it. Or if they do, it's a very limited range of accessories they've got available for you. So front runner is my top one in that. I'll probably look at a front runner roof rack for my new Jimny as well. But we'll have a chat with Rhino from Front Runner on that, and he's going to show us their full range of products they've got available for Front Runner roof racks, and let's make the call there. Maybe there's a new roof rack on its way that we don't know about. I'm going to have a look around and see what's available. So on the roof rack, final thoughts. Look at cost first. Look if you're going to have wind noise on it. Test it for wind noise. Check for weight. Check for the amount of weight it can carry. This is a must-have for a Jimny, I think. If you want to do overlanding, even just short weekend camping trips, the roof rack is invaluable. So have a look at it. I think it's going to be worth your while. Never overload your roof rack. My opinion, 40 kilograms on a roof rack is way too much. Keep it as lightweight as possible. For you guys out there with rooftop tents on your roof racks, don't go and drive with them on trails or anything but a dirt road. It gets top heavy, it's gonna fall over very quickly. And on the front runner roof rack range, I'd say my favorite accessory they have for that is the bottle opener neck that you can fit to the side. Spotlights. So on Zuk-Zilla I had a set of Lightfall Spotlights. It wasn't a very bright spotlight or anything, but it did the job well. It was nice and adjustable. You could actually set the spread if you want a wide beam or more centered beam, depending on the type of driving you do. If you want to do slow night driving, the wide beam is better. If you're doing long hauls at night on an open road, it's nice to have a wide beam and a spot that shines much further in front of you. I was happy with these Lightfall Spotlights. I actually won them at one of the Bridgestone events, and there are a lot of spotlights out there. Like I said, I won this set. What you need to be aware of is there is new laws in South Africa that has made light bars illegal. Also the size of light bar you may have. If you guys are more interested on that, we can do a video about it and get the right information. I know anything above your bonnet, you're not even allowed to have spotlights on your roof rack with the new laws that's coming in. So we'll be cognizant of that before you spend money and put light bars above your bonnet. I think below your bonnet there's only a size limitation, so you can have those small light bars. You're allowed to have them, but you're limited to the size of them, and they may not be above your bonnet. You're also limited to the amount of them you can have on. So be cognizant of that. Otherwise, there's a wide variety of spotlights available for you The LED spotlights out there are amazing. The halogen spotlights are amazing. Make the choice what you using your car for, what you're using your car for at night as well. So that's going to help you with those spotlights. My opinion on spotlights is rather have them than not have them. It's not an item or an accessory in your car you use often. So it's better to have them when you need them. You know, you're on an overlanding trip and you got stuck at the border post. Now it's night. Your car doesn't have decent headlights. Having that extra spotlight or light bar fitted may just make your life a bit easier and maybe keep you out of trouble. Another thing you need to think about with your spotlights is what guys always forget is a lot of times these spotlights you buy need wiring harnesses and they need switches. Don't only look at the price of the spotlight, ask your supplier if the wiring harness for the lights is included that has a small little fuse in it, and if the button you need to push inside for your spotlights is also included in this package. Seat covers. Seat covers, I'd say, is a nice important thing. Get it fitted to your car, especially if you're thinking about selling your car later on. It protects your seats very nicely if you get the right fit seat cover with the right properties. In Zuk-Zilla I had the Takla seat covers fitted. Main choice for Takla was it's a very convenient experience. These guys give you options on a lot of different designs, colors. They're willing to embroider logos for you on your seats and on your headrests. They've got a nice different pockets that they can add to your seat. With my new Jimny, we'll have a very close look at those Takla seat covers and the options you've got available. They also do like padded seat covers for you. It's a nice online experience when you're dealing with them because you can choose your type of seat cover, color, do you want it embroidered, upload your logo you wanted to embroider it with, do you want it padded, do you front and back seats, and once that order is placed, you normally get that within the same week you ordered, which is not bad at all, and then you know it was custom made for you. There are loads of guys that do seat covers. I prefer the synthetic seat covers over the normal cotton ones, like Melvin and Moon does. It's like the cotton seat covers get faded, and it's like they stain a bit easier than the synthetic seat covers do. On my synthetics, I can pour out a bottle of Coke on that seat cover. It won't stain it. You won't even feel you can see that Coke is not going into your seat at all. It just stays on top of your cover. You wipe it off with a wet cloth and you're ready to go. Look at how the seat covers fit in the car. You know, the Jimny's got a seat with a lot of plastic around it at the bottom. See if the seat covers can actually tuck in there. Always add extra pockets if you can. That's invaluable in the Jimny. You know, always having a pocket where you can put your cell phone, your wallet, extra pockets for flashlights. That's always a nice to have. So if you can put extra pockets up, do that. The big thing I think at the end of the day when you choose your seat cover is look at the price, look if it fits you, do the right colors, try to go for dark colors when you put in seat covers. If you don't have that, have the ones that have been scotch guard and doesn't let any water or anything through. So my best tip I can give you on seat covers is go to the 4x4 shows. I got my set of Takla seat covers at 30% discount on price just because of the show. So go and visit those guys, see what they've got available and try and get a deal from them. On next is our packing system. There's so much to say about the packing system because you need to do it 100% in the Jimny, otherwise it's going to be a total fail for you. The guys look at fridge slides and full packing drawer systems for the Jimny, and my opinion was I wanted to use my Jimny for mixed use, so it's day-to-day driving and then extreme 4x4ing over the weekend, and a bit of overlanding. But if you do overlanding, are you going to have a drawer system in your car permanently with the fridge slides, everything included? Do you have space at your garage or at your home where you can put these stuff when they're not in use? And is it worth the hassle to keep on putting this in and taking it out as soon as you come back from a trip? So I made the decision to keep my packing system modular. It gives me a bit of freedom in what I can do with my packing system. And I'm going to take the same methodology forward with my new Jimny. So with the old Jimny, you have to take out, if you want to do a packing system, you have to take out the back seats. That's totally remove them, and then you're sitting with an uneven surface underneath. So you have to create a plank or a template or any board of any kind. The easiest one is to use, so it's a normal plywood plank that you create to a template, and you cover that with your normal speaker carpet that the guys cover their speakers with. With my system, I decided to go for a second layer as well, because of the height of the Jimny you have at the back. You can pack much higher, so I introduced a second layer where I can put my fridge at the top, and I still have place for two normal size ammo cases at the bottom with extra tent space, everything. We'll have a look at the picture now, and you can see those two levels. Another nice feature that I added there was at the bottom plank I added a piano hinge, and that's a nice hidden feature because the hinges are beneath the carpet, so it's only you that know that that portion can actually flip up, and there's a nice decent amount of space there to hide stuff when you really need to, like your wallets, your passports, that type of stuff. In my normal day use case, I actually put my recovery equipment in there. So that's a very nice space, and you just cut that plywood, put in a piano hinge, put the carpet over it, and you never know it's there. I want to say I like to do a full episode on my packing ideas, how I want to do packing in a Jimny, because I just think the fridge slides, the packing systems, everything available out there is adding a lot of weight to your Jimny and your car. And with the JB43, if you're doing overlanding, having a car that's overloaded costs you a lot of money in petrol. It costs you a lot of patience. Everybody used to say the superpower of the Jimny driver is patience. If you're going to overload it, you're going to do 100 kilometers max. Sometimes maybe 80 or 90. You're going to be getting back on uphill, and it's almost going to cost you as much as a V8 in petrol. So be aware of that. Think things through before you just do them. My hybrid packing system, I think, is a very good solution for guys that still want to keep their cars for multi-use purpose. You have a few ammo cases, nothing is rolling loose in the car, you still fasten them down. I can't see a downside to this yet. We're going to be looking at my new Jimny's packing solutions as well. I still have to get something in place for it, but I think I'm going to use the same methodology for the new Jimny as I did for the old Jimny. It worked well in conjunction with a roof rack. You can do a decent overland trip with it. But as I mentioned, we'll do a full episode on how I pack my Jimny for different trips, and why I keep my solution flexible, and why I don't go for permanent solutions into the car when it comes to a packing solution. Yeah, it looks like we're doing all the fun accessories in this episode. Next up is Diff Locks. Diff Locks makes your life much easier in a Jimny. It's a very costly solution if you look at it. I'd say first drive your Jimny without them, and if you come across obstacles and stuff where you really can't get over without a diff lock, and you don't have enough skill anymore, you can look at diff locks. I went for air locker. These air lockers were based on the Arb air lockers. I ordered them from China. I first installed the rear air locker. It came with all its piping, switches, harness, wiring harness, and the compressor. The guys that they installed for me, the guys that did the install actually didn't even realize that this was not a real Arb locker. That's how close it was. You get them for about a third of the cost of an Arb locker. They did the install for me. After the first day, the compressor went, and I said, okay, the compressor is a very important component. Let's go and buy the Arb compressor and make sure that we don't run into trouble. That cost me a lot of money extra. Those Arb compressors are not cheap in South Africa. After I did that, the locker worked great. The only thing you need to look at is the compressor and the pneumatic pipes that run to the diff lock. These tend to get leaks sometime, and if your compressor keeps on running, then you know you've got a decent leak and your diff lock is not engaging. I was very happy with this rear locker, and later on decided to install the front locker as well, also from the Chinese guys. My compressor wasn't already installed. I hadn't already spent the money on the compressor. This was just getting the other locker imported. These lockers gave me good service during the years I had them. What you need to keep a lookout for is check your diff oils for filings in the diff oils. Then you'll know the tension on the lockers are not set correct, that type of stuff. So after you use it heavily, let them check the oil, check for metal particles in the oil, and then you know as soon as you've got too many metal particles in there, something is wrong with the installation on your locker. So let the guys rather check that. My Chinese locker, the rear one, lasted me 2 years. After that 2 years, one day I was driving to work, and my diff basically just exploded at the back. It was making very metal on metal type of sounds. It didn't sound good. At least I could drive to my 4x4 fitment center, told the guys to have a look at it. As soon as they opened it up, the whole diff was destroyed inside, and I had to put in a new diff. My recommendation on lockers, if you go for a locker, go for the real Arb one. It's going to cost you a lot less if something goes wrong. The Arbs are designed with a much harder type of steel. That's where the Chinese lockers, I think that's where they make up their money. It still looks the same, it still works the same, but they use metal that's not as strong as the Arb guys do. I think the Arb guys use a much better type of steel to create their lockers. My recommendation still is, if you're looking the locker route, first look at the sway bar disconnect. That's, I think, your cheapest option. Next system I would have a look at is the auto locker. This is a very nice system because it doesn't need any third-party systems to control it and engage it and disengage it. So air lockers need a compressor. The electronic lockers need a magnet to engage and disengage. You always have wires running there or pipes. Sometimes pipes and wires, and that creates another point of failure that you need to have a look on these auto lockers. I think the one brand is Lockrite. The Lockrite lockers, they're really nice. The downside to them is on-road use. Sometimes you're going to have to adjust your driving style, because sometimes that locker just kicks in and then makes it difficult for you to do turns. So I think what the guy said is you must get used to basically freeing your car around corners or turns, so that the locker doesn't engage. The only time it does engage is if it's under power, so it needs your power from the engine to engage that. So as soon as one wheel starts spinning faster than the other, the locker will engage. So be cognizant of that. I think the Lockrite locker will be very nice for your permanent off-road use and a bit more extreme off-road use. You also get electronic lockers. These guys work with actuators that engages the lock. Again, you're looking at wiring, fuses, everything that can go wrong on those. And my personal experience, go with the Arb lockers. Yes, I know it's got a lot more points of failure, but it's also got a lot of positives. You've got onboard air available. Arb sells you the little hose with the connectors and the pressure gauges that just plugs into your Arb compressor, and there you've got onboard air as well. So for that extra functionality that you get, I think the Arbs are worth it. They've been proven and tested for how many years in Australia. I think they're tough enough to get the job done. They're going to cost you a bit more than the rest, but rather be safe than sorry. Don't lose a diff, don't lose compressors and piping all the time. Rather go for the stuff that's designed to work together. So what does a diff lock do for you? The Jimny does not come out with any diff locks. The diffs are basically open, so as soon as you have less than 3 wheels on the ground at any time, the Jimny will not have forward momentum and it will go nowhere. Mostly you can overcome this at different obstacles with the type of lines you drive and the amount of momentum you've got going forward. Diff locks make this much easier. Just with the rear diff lock, it makes a massive difference. We can have a look at the video now of Zuk-Zilla with the diff lock engaged going up that obstacle, and we're going to look at the same obstacle with my new Jimny and how often the traction control kicked in on my new Jimny. We don't see that happening in Zuk-Zilla. What I like about the diff locks and why I installed them was Sometimes we do a bit more extreme obstacles. You can't do those obstacles driving the right line and carrying momentum at the same time, because sometimes there's just too much damage you're going to do to your car if you do it at too fast a speed. So your momentum, you need that momentum to get there, and you're probably going to damage your car. So I rather install the rear diff lock so I can engage that and I can do those type of obstacles much slower. And I'm not forced into a line anymore because I'm going to lose forward momentum. So that was my main reason to install the diff lock. I looked at Plastidip. It was a new technology currently on the market. I saw a lot of guys were putting Plastidip on their cars to protect their paintwork. Zuk-Zilla was that blue-black color. That started to show scratches in the bush very, very prominently. And you know what, everybody still likes a nice shiny car when you're driving around in the city. So I was trying to protect my paint a bit, and I thought Plastidip might be a good solution to try. I did it 2 times. The first time, it's a normal spray paint you spray onto your car. You buy it in 5-liter buckets. You get a spray gun and a few friends to help you to mask off your car, and you paint it. The first paint I did was a green paint, the second one was orange paint, and you know what, it did protect my car against all the scratches and dings and dents that you pick up on trails. Even just driving on a gravel road, you get gravel rash and that type of stuff. So I tried it out. At the start, I don't think it was a bad decision. Going further into it, I started getting little marks on the paint. So it actually it got a few scuffs, but then it started creating stains where, you know, somebody just touches your car with their hands, and you go in 4x4, and as soon as you come back, that dust and the oil from your fingerprints would make a stain. Another thing the Plastidip also didn't like was petrol. So while you're doing overlanding, that type of stuff, you spill a bit of petrol on the paint, and it starts making a stain instantly. So I didn't like that about the Plastidip. You know what, it works fine on the mags for the guys. If you want to protect your mags or wheels against scratches, it's not going to give you a lot of protection, but at least against scratches. Or you just want to change the color of your rims from the standard silver to black, use the normal Plastidip aerosol cans. They work great. Try it out. It's not that difficult to remove afterwards. With my solution, I sold the car with the Plastidip on. I know the guys have had a difficult time getting it off. It's not as easy as vinyl to take off. My recommendation would be, if you want to protect your car against scratches, go for the vinyl route. You can do some fun stuff with vinyl, maybe add some graphics to it, do a color change on your car, and you're protecting the paint at the same time. We're working on a new product for protection of your car paint. We will be launching it on this channel quite soon. So as soon as that's ready, you guys will be able to have a look at that as well. I just want to thank everyone for watching this video again with us, listening to what I have to say. Hopefully I helped you a bit, and you can make better decisions on what accessories to fit to your Jimny before you go and spend your own money. Thanks again for watching. Our next episode will be an overview of the Jb43 Jimny, so keep a watch out for that. Also look at our social media pages, they're all up and running. Please go like and subscribe. And again with this video, guys, we really need your views, your likes, your subscriptions to keep this channel going. We're on the verge of launching our website as well. Our website will have some merchandise on it, point back to our videos, and that's a way to make contact with us as well. So we're giving you all the platforms available to make contact with us. Please have a chat with us, and let's see if we can help you get your Jimny, teach you how to drive it, and get the best out of it that we can. Thanks again for watching. Just Jimny on.